Welcome to episode 3 of the Time Banter show. My name is Tariq.
I'm Liam.
And Riz, as you can see, is not with us this evening. He is otherwise occupied. Mentioned something about a phone booth, cat in a tree, and saving the universe. We don't know. We hope you're well, Riz, and he'll be back next week. So this week is a bit of a special show. Tell us about it, Liam.
Yes, this week we're just going to look at the film section. So if you come here for the fantasy and the football, you can come back next week.
Yes. Sorry.
So we're just looking at film this week, and we're going to be covering Marvel. We're going to be having a debate as well, because my esteemed colleague to the right of me refers to them as a bit of a meat factory, the Marvel meat factory. So he's going to be coming up with some points as to why he feels that way, and I'm going to be trying to change his mind.
My problem is with this modern day, it's literally every 6 months they're coming out of one.
Yeah.
So you're losing focus of what film you've actually watched. You don't know where you're up to. You're losing focus of the characters, and especially with, I'm getting bored with this whole thing of the universe is in trouble and we've got to save the universe and Earth, and because you know what, I am cynical, because the only reason all these superheroes want to save humanity, we're going to keep people alive. Why? Just to buy more iPhones? Just to sell you more stuff? More CAC? Yeah.
And
so
I do think, like you said, with the amount that are being released at the minute, because if you just take Marvel, like you said, you've got one every 6 months, maybe 3 a year at some points, and then you've got DC on top of that keep rebooting as well and trying to get Batman and Superman going. So you could be looking at about 4 or 5 jaunts to the cinema per year, and I don't know if you've been to the cinema recently, but it's about £11.
Yeah.
So unless you're using
that nonsense,
unless you're using the offers, it's like £55 for yourself. Just to watch 5 films.
No, just wait till they come out.
And do you think that might be as well? Around about taking the B list and C listers, even Guardians. Because Guardians weren't known.
Nobody
to the general public. But do you think that the MCU, they're making more characters like that so they can get away with releasing more films? Instead of
they're
saying,
trying to cover all bases, aren't they?
Yeah, instead of saying here's Iron Man 5, here's a new Guardians film.
Essentially, like I say, they're trying to cover all bases. They're trying to tick all boxes, and the latest one now is, they've covered the black market, to sort of say, with Black Panther, with the African market, because and again I'm hearing there's intelligent conversation about the Black Panther. It's the first cerebral Marvel film. It's not. It's the only reason people are saying that is because it features an all black cast, which fine, nothing wrong with that.
No, but I would agree entirely.
Yeah, they're being exploitative.
I thought that a lot of people. I thought Black Panther was good. I thought it was better than I was expecting, because I was a bit fed up with it by the time I went in. But I do agree with that I think a lot of people and a lot of reviews that were very, very positive, leading towards 4 or 5 stars, were because they were going down the PC route of the. That's great. It's great that there's a black superhero with his own film and it's an all black cast. It's fantastic. But I think a lot of people were jumping on that bandwagon. Yeah,
and I don't feel bad saying that, because I've heard rumours now there's going to be an Asian superhero, Pakistani girl from New York. God knows what character she is. I can't remember the name. It's not Wonder Woman. It's something like
Miss
that.
Marvel.
Miss Marvel might be the one. I don't know.
To be honest, I haven't heard that, so I can't.
But again, just because she's Pakistani, I won't be going to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I won't feel empowered because there's a young Asian girl as a super. Because again, here's the disconnect for me with all these superheroes, and hope that will be reflected in my top 5, which we'll move on to very quickly, because I think we're quickly burning through time. There's a disconnect for superheroes. I do not relate. And I think that's why certain superheroes, the likes of Batman, are very popular with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And all this, Captain America super serum, Iron Man's multi-millions, the Hulk, all of them, go through all of them, they've got something. And apart from them, you get to the rubbish one, because everyone says Hawkeye is a rubbish guy, because all these guys are born out.
I used to really like him in the comics.
In the comics, fair enough, but he's the odd one out, and people take the mickey out of him because he's just a human. He's just a human with a bow and arrow, and I can pick up a pea shooter. I can pick up, start spitballing. But anyway, I think we'll leave it there. because I don't think there's anything more to be said, because really I can't find a positive thing to say, because I liked Captain America: The First Avenger.
Haley Atwell rocking the 40s look, I loved it.
No idea what you're talking about there. Okay, right. But if there was a bit of a gap between each film, and hype is another killer.
Yes.
If you go with the hype and you see all the trailers and the interviews, you may as well not bother watching the film, I feel.
Do you not think it's good escapism? Like if you're watching Spider-Man go flying or Wolverine going into his rage?
No,
or,
because I understand if it's escapism, and that might be the thing for some people. But for me, like I mentioned with Interstellar, I like some grounding in reality. To think that this is possibly plausible. And that's what I liked about, like I said about Interstellar, that's what I liked about Man of Steel. Zack Snyder, who's had a terrible record since, but he did the first Man of Steel. Not the... Which one?
Heavy.
Henry Cavill. The heavy one, yes.
Bit heavy.
Serious, yes, that one. You see,
He levels Metropolis and Smallville.
Yeah, well, that's where it gets.
There's grounding because there's no buildings left here. It's just all ground.
But what I mean is, it builds, and there's a little bit of science, just a teeny weeny bit as to why Superman is Superman, and obviously on their own planet. They're just regular old Kryptonians. But yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Get in touch at Time Banter 7. Get in touch on the YouTube page and let us know your thoughts. Where do you stand? Are you with Liam and all for the Marvel superhero films? You love your superheroes, you love all of those, or are you falling on my side and you think it's all just a load of nonsense and we need something fresh, we need something original, and just Disney are just, need to turn off that mincer where they're just chucking stuff in and it's just coming out in red and yellow spandex.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we can return to this topic at a later date as well, because I think it's got definitely got some more legs.
Yeah, unfortunately, and a cape. But moving on then, we're going to do our top 5 all-time superhero movies. And who wants to go first? Do you want me to go first? You want to go first?
I'll let you go first. I'll try and get some positives coming.
Okay, right. So I noticed this wasn't deliberate. Before I tell you what my top 5 are, this wasn't deliberate. It's maybe very subconscious, and it's linked to the last point I just made about the disconnect. All of my top 5 are not technically superheroes, with the exception of maybe one.
Just as a point, guys, before we start, we don't know each other's
we've
top
not
5,
seen
so
this,
we're
we did that deliberately.
Yeah.
So hopefully be an insight, and so mine are not technically superheroes. At best, they are reluctant heroes.
Okay.
Yeah. So my number 1, something that I mentioned already during our conversation, is Watchmen.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. If
Big
you haven't
fan.
seen Watchmen, very few people have. It is a fantastic superhero movie, and I say again, technically, it's got superheroes, but the way is it Alan Moore?
Yes.
He's subverted the genre quite a bit in terms of he shows their weaknesses, their fallibilities, their commonness. So what I mean. So their sense of humour and things like that. And you've got to see it. And I think, in fact, I was surprised to find it was Zack Snyder who did the Watchmen as well.
Yeah.
Very surprised, because he's gone on to do some awful stuff like Batman vs Superman and Justice League. So it's gone downhill. He peaked,
Yeah, he
and then it's gradually gone down. But because after that, I'd gone back to Alan Moore's graphic novel and had read it and had a look, and he stuck so well to the characters.
Yeah, and even the framing of some shots as
Yeah.
well, it's so it's like you are watching the comic on the screen.
Because
with the adaptations
again,
of the characters.
for anyone who's not familiar, each graphic novelist will have their key little signature, and Alan Moore's in his was the 3x3 set of 9 frames on a page, and he'd get point across on that. So I think it stuck fantastically. Maybe a little too much because the film's very long, and I felt
About
some of
2.5
the
hours,
parts with the history of the Joker, the Joker.
Yeah, comedian.
History of a comedian. Watch it, you'll find out. Was all necessary. But again, it's a superhero movie, but I think it's actually more film noir. It's a whodunit. It's a mystery.
Yeah.
And but a couple of the highlights of that I'm going to tell you. Dr. Manhattan, absolutely fantastic. Which is again what I think about what would really happen if somebody got superpowers. Dr. Manhattan has a freak accident. He's a scientist. He's smart anyway. He becomes super smart. What do? You don't start worrying about humanity's problems. You're too smart. You move to Mars and build a crystal palace and think, solve your problems. Earth, yeah, I'm above your problems. Yeah, so that was fantastic. And the greatest character ever in any superhero movie, Rorschach.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, Rorschach is quality. Yeah, watch Watchmen. It's raw, it's gritty, it's violent. It's everything that Marvel isn't. So I can highly recommend that. That's my number one choice, top choice.
Big thumbs up from me as well.
Big thumbs up. Okay, we're in agreement on that. Number 2, because of the director, it is The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan's version of Batman.
Which one's the Dark? Is that the second one? Is that the one with the Joker?
He
started off so well. The Watchmen, we were buzzing, we were happy, we were agreeing, and then you've got to bring that.
I don't know what his problem, because just let you in on what we were talking about off camera. He says, number 1, we know he doesn't like Christopher Nolan. Okay. Number 2, he's just dissed Heath Ledger's depiction of the Joker. Why? Let's have a moment on that. Why? Heath Ledger, poor guy's dead. Yeah.
You can't bring that.
Yes.
The guilt trip.
Yes, the guilt trip.
The guilt trip.
And he got posthumous Oscar. Yeah. And he was fantastic. I like Christian Bale. I think he's a fantastic actor. Aside from Batman, I thought he was a brilliant Batman. He's up there with Michael Keaton for me. But that aside, The Dark Knight, the reason I picked that one is because of Heath Ledger's Joker.
Right, okay.
It's fantastic. What is your problem with it?
It's not the Joker. I like my Jokers to be
cliched. Or by the numbers Joker kind of thing.
I have a whole problem with the Nolan Batman films anyway. It's just that Ledger's a massive part of the second one and the Joker, and it just doubly winds me up. I wanted more of the stuff where, when he stabs the pencil in the table and then slams the other guy's head on it and goes, "Want to see me make this disappear?"
Yeah.
I don't know if that is his voice, I've not watched it in years. But he does that and I'm like, that's brilliant. I think that's all you get. And he spends half the film.
Look at his face. Why so serious?
I got these scars. That was bang on. I'll accept that one.
Yeah, so it's there.
But it's rubbish. And you nearly got me.
Easy.
It's a family show. No, it just.
Is it?
Well, I think we're better off saving that for a
Okay,
Batman.
right. My number 2 is Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight because of the Joker, and it is fantastic. Number 3, Unbreakable. Unbreakable is M. Night Shyamalan's depiction of superheroes.
Samuel Jackson
as Mr. Glass,
yeah.
And Bruce Willis as tough guy, security guy. Don't know what his name is.
Yeah.
Does he have a name? Man with no
don't
name.
think so.
Right. Well, that fantastic again. Completely a sideways take at superheroes. Again, if you haven't seen that, it kind of went a little bit under the radar. There is actually a new film coming out called Glass, which I didn't know the 3 were connected, features obviously Mr. Glass and Unbreakable guy, but also, I forget the actor's name, Split, the film Split about multiple...
James McAvoy?
Yes, James McAvoy, who's only ever done Last King of Scotland, a brilliant film, but the rest of his films have been rubbish, I think. But yeah, Split, I only caught the end of that, so I need to watch that again, but apparently that's part of that universe. So the Glass is like a sequel with all 3 of them in there, so I'm looking forward to that. Right. But that again, I thought was brilliant. Samuel L. Jackson and Mr. Glass, and if you want to see an original origin story, wow, how about that?
And I think what's cool as well is there's loads of because some people don't class it as a superhero movie, but there's loads of little bits in it. Like I think Jackson's character always wears purple, and Willis always wears green. So, but they're just like regular clothes, so they're not in like superhero outfits, but they've always got a colour scheme that's matched them. Really, really clever film.
Because he's a big fan of comics and stuff, apparently, M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I don't know what the M stands for, we're going to have to find that out. That bugs me. Michael Night
Mr.
Shyamalan.
Mr.
Yes.
Night Shyamalan.
Okay, but yeah, Unbreakable, watch that, very, very good film. Completely different take on superhero. And I say again, it's not technically superheroes, or is it? We'll let you decide.
I go with it.
Yeah? Okay.
I'm allowing it. Big thumbs up again. So we're on a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up.
Okay, so yeah, 2 out of 3, I'm not doing too bad.
In the words of Meatloaf, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah. Number 4, Kick-Ass.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's the only decent film that I forget his name. I'm really bad with names. I've got to get better with names. The guy raised in Arizona. What's his name? The dad. What's the dad's name?
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. Yes. Southern Drawl. Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I think it's the only good film he's ever made. I can't think of any other good film he's been in. Don't say Face Off. No.
No, my brother slagged that off as well. He was really against it.
A lot of people like Face Off, and I stay
You've
quiet.
got to be off your face to enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's the time.
But Kick-Ass, again, little girl, Chloe Grace Moretz. I don't know how I remember that name.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, but she's fantastic. She's really good. And Nicolas Cage actually is the dad, and it's not superheroes. It's people dressed up as superheroes.
Vigilante, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And let's talk. We've just got to mention Jim Carrey in the second one.
Yeah.
Kick-Ass 2. If you haven't seen them, you've got to watch them. I'm not going to tell you too much more about them. Moving on to number 5.
I think the soundtrack in those films is brilliant as
Yeah.
well. It's really, really gets you pumped up.
Yes, it does, definitely. Number 5, one from back in the day. I don't know if you were born for this one. 1994, The Crow.
Yes, 4 years old at the time. But,
Okay.
So I wouldn't have. I didn't see it.
Should not have been watching that.
Yeah, second film after the Flintstones. Yeah, I have seen it. I was underwhelmed
Really?
because it gets such a big write up,
Yeah.
and because I went say 25 years without
It's the
seeing
problem
it.
with hype. Yeah.
Yeah, the hype was that big over
The
25
hype
years of me
machine.
not seeing it. That I then did watch it, and I was like, it's good, but I don't know. I was expecting more. But
Yeah.
go on.
I think it is subtle and understated, and people actually call it a goth flick, a goth film, but this is way before the goth, and emos and all of that. Even it was grunge. 94. Grunge hadn't arrived in England; it was still an American thing. So maybe the American influence of grunge was on it, and some of the music is in a band. I can't remember what the band is called. It's actually a pretty good band in the film he's in. But the reason it's a special film as well, Brandon Lee actually died during the filming of that film. And Brandon Lee, if you don't know, is the son of martial arts legend and actor Bruce Lee. I was going to say Jet Li, not Jet Li, Bruce Lee. So we, as a teenager, 1994, we had to see this film, Bruce Lee's son, let's see what he does. And it was brilliant. It's not about martial arts. It's just really brooding, and it's dark, and it's always raining. It's a miserable, horrible film. So if you're a happy, smiley person, you're really not going to like it. Yeah. But I kind of go for that stuff. So that's my top 5. Watchmen, Dark Knight, Unbreakable, Kick-Ass, and The Crow.
All very gritty and down to earth.
Yeah, and no spandex, aside from Batman.
Bit of Kick-Ass.
Maybe. Yeah, actually Kick-Ass, but in Kick-Ass it's kind of, what's the word? It's kind of a Mickey take,
It's
isn't
a bit
it?
riffed on it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
The whole superhero thing.
Yeah. There's actually other superhero films, but I didn't get the chance to look them up, and I can't remember the names on them, which are really good, which are very much like that. Take the Mickey out of superhero films, and they're very good. But anyway, I'm done there. I believe we have some messages. So from @Time Banter 7, people have been in touch, and personally and via the YouTube page. Some people have got in touch and given us their top 5, #top 5.
Yes, they have. I should just locate them.
Yeah, let's see what these people come. I'm really looking forward to somebody coming up with something different.
Yep, so first up we've got Amir Muawiyah, whose top 5 is Batman Dark Knight. Rearing his
Okay,
head again.
Yeah.
Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War,
Mm-mm.
Logan, and Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
See, Guardian of the Galaxy is one. Guardians of the Galaxy, first volume 1, because of the humour and the soundtrack. Apart from that, no. And what was the other? Forget the Avengers one. What was the fourth
Logan.
one? Logan, no. Again, Logan.
I loved Logan.
Again, it was being hailed as wow, something completely different. It's not a super. It's, you know, there's a guy I can't remember names. Somebody put it better than I ever could. He said Logan is essentially it's a gourmet burger. It's got all the fancy trimmings. It's got the fancy bun and it's got all the sauces and all this and the fancy lettuce. But essentially, it is still just a burger. Yeah, and that's what Logan is. Logan's come at it at a completely different way, and it's going to be serious, and it's going to be emotional, and he's dying, and he's hurting, and and Professor X, and all of this, but then it just turns into the same old nonsense. Yeah, just hacking, slashing, maybe a little bit more violent, the chopping heads off as well, which is finally good to see. Wolverine,
Yes.
That's what those blades are for. That's what he should be doing, as he does in the comics. But yeah, apart from that, no, just the same old stuff.
I love burgers. I love Wolverine. Gets a big old thumbs up from me.
I like burgers too, but
Burgers.
okay.
Burgers.
Next one. Have we got anyone else?
Yeah,
Thank you, Amir, for that.
Yeah, thank you, mate. We've got Lisa and Stuart, who've said Batman trilogy and Batman versus Superman. I love Batman, which is fair enough. I do seem to be on the minority here of the old Nolan Batman trilogy.
Is that the trilogy they're referring to? I think most likely they will, but they haven't been very specific there. I doubt very much they're referring to the older
I think there's
ones.
4, isn't there? And
Yeah.
there's the 66 Batman.
Yeah, definitely probably not that one. So the Batman trilogy, okay, and what else is it say? Batman versus Superman, no, definitely not. No. Zack Snyder did those. Quick thing on those. Zack Snyder did those films as well after having started so well. He did 1 or 2 of the X-Men as well.
Bryan Singer.
Bryan Singer, okay, mixed up with someone else, right. But I can't help but think, with Justice League and Batman versus Superman, Ben Affleck's had his hand in there. He's had a heavy influence because he's a bit of a producer now. He fancies himself as a bit of a producer. And I think he has stayed Zack Snyder's hand. He's kind of, put the shackles on him or just said, this is how we're doing it. But no, Batman should not have a double chin, and no. Should be a lithe, slim, athletic guy, not a big, chocking, walking around. He's not going to jump off a roof and grapple and all the rest of it. No, get out. Next one.
Okay, so next up we've got Menaz.
Thank you very much.
Coming with 5 and reasons as well.
Okay,
which is
that's
nice.
nice.
The first Superman film from the 70s with Christopher Reeves. It's a classic, and he played the characters of both Superman and Clark Kent so well. Could not agree more with that review.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think everybody else that's done Superman since Christopher Reeve has struggled because I don't think there'll ever be a better one.
Yeah, I've got to agree with that.
Clark Kent,
I'd say the Superman 2, like I've said, is a favourite of mine.
Yeah.
But all of those, and just maybe nostalgic value because we were kids back then. But yeah, fantastic. Christopher Reeve was fantastic. Yeah. The characters, the humour. Gene Hackman as a bad guy. Nobody. Yeah, fantastic. Agree with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the bizarre thing is, a lot of the CGI, to my eyes, looks better in those 70s films than it does today.
Yeah.
The amount of money that they have, it looks better.
Less is more, maybe. Less is more.
I would definitely agree in terms of that.
So yeah, Superman, very good. Nobody's mentioned that so far.
Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, second movie. The music from Cat Stevens' song "Father and Son."
Again, I think Minaz is being very emotionally driven. I've said that the music is possibly the only good thing about Guardians 2, and the rest of the film is still a waste of space.
Not even not Mary Poppins, y'all.
No.
I loved it. I thought it was really good. I was worried about it, but I really enjoyed them.
That was Quillen. That quote you just did.
The blue guys.
Yeah, with the arrow. Yeah, okay, that was pretty good. Yeah. Okay.
I've got a t-shirt with that as well.
So Guardians 2, no, thumbs down. Next one.
The Crow.
Okay.
Same
yeah.
as yourself, which T has already covered.
Yeah. Oh, in at number 3 though. Yeah.
Yep. Number 4, Wolverine. I think there might be a general overview of Wolverine.
That was the film, the Wolverine. Well, there's 2. There's Wolverine and there's Origins Wolverine.
Yeah, there's the Wolverine. That's the Japan one, isn't it?
Yeah, with the guy he saved in World War II.
Yes.
And yeah. Okay.
So it could be that one. Manners, if you want to get in touch and do let us know which one.
Please clarify. Yes.
Yeah. And number 5, X-Men: The Last Stand, which is the third one from the original 3. Before it jumps into time hopping.
The new, the reboot. I actually prefer the reboot with James McAvoy.
Okay.
And because Michael Fassbender, I think is brilliant. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, was that the end of the list?
Yeah. So that's the fifth one. So she had dramatic, good characters, and first Marvel cartoon I watched as a kid, and it has a cracking theme tune as well.
Does it?
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I think the reboot for me is much better. Not by a massive amount, but just the stories I think are a little more engaging. Because eventually, same with that Last Stand, you get bored. You get so bored of the same old nonsense.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah, you know, nobody gets killed, nobody dies, nothing gets resolved. It's just, here's a little bit and then there's going to be another film. And then here's a little bit and then we're going to make another film. So no. Let's end that there. Let's get into yours and hopefully...
Yeah.
I'm not holding out for much, but...
Well, we've got Dad and Sean and Stephen as well.
Oh, yes, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
No,
apologies,
right.
guys. Maybe there's something original there.
So, Sean's got in touch and says his top 5 are Daredevil, Batman the 66 and Batman the 89. So the Batman 66 is from the TV series, classic Adam West.
Adam West, yeah.
89 is the first of the Burton ones, and his other 2 choices are Deadpool 1 and 2. But he did say that this is when I asked him earlier, and he said that if I'd asked him half an hour later, it could very well change.
Okay.
So
the whole entire top 5.
I think there's a couple of stalwarts in there.
Right. Okay.
But I think it's sometimes what zone you're in, isn't it? They can.
I was going to say, does it depend which superhero socks he's wearing at the time?
He does have a lot of superhero socks, actually.
And undies, of course. Right. What was the first one?
Daredevil.
Daredevil. Is that Ben Affleck again?
Yeah, we'll put a pause on that because we might come on to that in a minute.
Okay. Yeah. The premise is good. Okay. Go.
And we've also got Stephen's top 5. Well, he's given me more. He's got Batman 66, Batman Returns, so that's the second one of the Burtons, Guardians of the Galaxy, Daredevil, Ant-Man, Deadpool 1/2, and Doctor Strange.
That's 7.
7.
That's 7. We only asked for 5.
And there was another one as well. There's an honourable mention
for
Mystery Men.
Oh yes, yes, I've seen that. You know what? If it had chopped off the bottom 3 and put Mystery Men in there, fantastic. Yes, again, Mystery Men is a bit of a Howard the Duck, isn't it?
Yeah.
Again, nobody would probably see Howard the Duck. That's from way back. But Mystery Men was really good because again, it's a comedy and it kind of takes a mick as well. But just a really good film.
Yeah, Mystery Men is in my. Admittedly, my list I've done for this is just a top 5 Marvel list. But if I was doing an overall list because I was struggling so much, Mystery
which
Men,
you should have done, which I said to do.
Right, okay, I'll do it now then.
Okay, go ahead.
Right, so my top 5 will be X-Men 2.
Okay.
I think that's definitely got to be in there. The opening is one of the best openings you'll ever see.
Don't remember it.
Nightcrawler in the White House.
Yeah. Does nothing for me. Yeah.
This guy. No, it's great. I think the story's good. I think it's before Marvel went in with the Avengers and started looking for ensembles. You've got Stewart, McKellen, Jackman, Brian Cox. It's bang up there with quality actors.
You know, Hugh Jackman is a trained Shakespearean theatre actor.
Yes.
And he's had to end up resorting to this.
And he does musicals.
This is
the man is a god. The man is a god.
Right, carry on.
So X-Men 2 is definitely in mine. Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man
With
2
Dr.
probably-
Octopus.
Doc Ock is probably one of the best villains around.
Yeah, I think Alfred Molina absolutely smashes it out of the park in that film.
Because one week I'm watching him in some period drama, and the next he's tearing it up in New York. With 8 legs. But I'll give you that one.
One week he's on Broadway doing the musical, the next week he's slashing and thrashing.
And talking nonsense about
But no, and I think I have more of an appreciation now for those Spider-Man films after the Amazing Spider-Man.
The Andrew Garfield.
Because when they came out, I was like, I prefer these ones. And then I've gone back and rewatched them, and I've gone, you know what? I think Maguire did it better.
Everyone in that film,
better.
the Andrew Garfield,
Emma Stone,
and the Canadian guy. I'm a fan of his. Way back in the day when he was still stand-up comedian. What's his name? I can't remember his name. He's a Canadian comedian. I'll look it up if it helps.
Yeah, we'll put the name on screen.
He actually used to be good. He used to be very good. He used to be very funny because he was very cynical and dry. And then for him just to turn up in that's a rubbish Spider-Man film.
Yeah, they're not as good as the Raimis. So that's why Spidey 2 gets my vote. So I've had X-Men 2, Spider-Man 2, Mystery Men will be in there along with Stephen. It's one of the first when you're a bit older, when you're about 8, 9, I went to the cinema to watch it, and I think I ended up going 3 times because I loved it that much.
I think I'm right in thinking has Ben Stiller in it?
Yes, Ben Stiller, William H. Macy, Hank Azaria, Jeffrey Rush, Greg Kinnear.
It's similar to Watchmen where you know all those faces, you know them. They're not leading characters, but they're fantastic in that.
Yeah, so it's definitely got to be in there. And the comics bizarre. I think if you read the comics, there's characters that they've left out because there's all people with superpowers like the Shoveler, who has the power of a shovel, the Blue Raja, who can only throw forks, the Invisible Boy, who can only become invisible when nobody else is looking. Think about it. So I think it's brilliant. It mixes humour and, like you said, it sends up superheroes, but at the same time it's a loving way, and I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, it is good. I think you need it as an anecdote to all the serious rubbish coming out, where they take themselves far too seriously, you need to watch something like that.
I think Dark Horse is the name of the comics.
Yes.
Produced that.
Dark Horse Comics, so that was your 4.
So I've got Spidey 2, X-Men 2, Mystery Men.
Number 5? 4. Number 4, okay.
Number 4, we'll go Hellboy 2. I loved the Hellboy films. I think because they came out of left field, because he's a really minor character when compared to a lot of the other ones. And I thought the first one was great. Guillermo del Toro.
That's the only reason I'm allowing it, bro.
Me and I was going to say me too. I've got a mutual. I'm not one for directors, but I will go and watch the Del Toro film because I love how he puts things together.
And you can see the influence of his in that. I don't know if you've seen his other films, especially Pan's Labyrinth. All the patterns on the face and the kind of weirdness. Fantastic, So you definitely see his influence in that.
Yeah, two big thumbs up for me there.
Yes, definitely. And I think that's what we're looking for, is a bit of originality. I think to conclude, that's what I want to say is, you're looking for something new, something original, that hasn't been done before, you've not seen before, you know what I mean? So
yeah, and I think my last choice is number 5. Again, this could change. I'll go with Ant-Man. I really liked Ant-Man. I like Paul Rudd. He's one of
Paul
my boys.
Rudd, You've seen Role Models. Role Models, fantastic.
Bits of it, yeah.
With him and Stifler.
Sean William Scott,
Sean William Scott, not Sean Michael Scott.
I love Paul Rudd. I think he's probably up there in. If I see his name in a film, I'll just watch it because I know I'm just going to enjoy his shtick. But I love that it was something different.
He's in 40-Year-Old Virgin as well, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's one of his mates.
Yes, he's so much better at comedy, and I don't think that transfers to Ant-Man. It does. It's minor laughs, cheap laughs.
Yeah, but I think he does it well, and I think I do like the script and a lot of the camera work. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought the effects were good as well. I thought they did a bit of a cop out saving Giant Man for Civil War.
Yeah.
Because they keep Ant-Man small and then he does morph into Giant Man during Infinity War. And it was a bit, Civil War, sorry. And I think they were just holding that back a bit. And it gets a big thumbs up from me because Hayley Atwell's in the first 2 minutes looking a bit older than she normally does. And me likey.
Okay, I think we've got to leave it there. Get in touch with your comments at Fulltime Banter 7 on Twitter and in the comment section below on YouTube. Let us know your top 5 all-time superhero movies. Surprise us. Is there someone who's got something completely left field that we've not thought about, like Spawn or
Steel?
Or Darkman, Alec Baldwin one, or there's a few other ones out there which I can't remember the names of. So tell us why. Yeah. So even if you can't come up with a 5, or if you're going to give us 5 Marvel ones, save yourself the effort and just give us something good, something original, something new.
Thank you guys for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this bit of a different show, just focusing on the film. But don't worry, normal service will be resumed next week with the return of football and the return of Fantasy League as well. So if you want to get in touch and send us your first draft of your Fantasy League team, because we'll be covering that next week with me, Tariq and Riz, about any changes that we've made since episode 1, any more changes that we might make as signings come in.
So we're only about 10 days away by that point.
It's crept up on us remarkably quick. So
getting exciting.
So we're going to be looking at first drafts next week and
send in your teams. Send in your team. Let us have a look. If you want a second opinion on it, if you're trying to influence us with some players, let us know why.
Yep, and I think in the football we're going to be looking at the big 6.
The top six review of signings, goings-ins, goings-outs, and where we think they might finish in the league and why.
Yeah, very interesting. So I mean, it could all change between now and then as well. Any signings that they do make. So thank you guys for watching, and we shall see you next week.